forward here on Sports 1440. Of course, Tom Gazzola entering week 2 on the station, and the fantasy aspect of the frenzy dropped for the time being. Now, we're not totally going to go away from the fantasy perspective. Of course, when we get to football season where people really want to get into it, yeah, we'll talk some fantasy football. Of course, that's something we're going to do because, heck, if you listen to the program before in the past, from September to early January, we get a lot of people asking about their fantasy football lineup. So, of course, we're going to work that in. But we want to kind of hit the show running with some new things. We're going to have Josh Fenwick take part in the show a little bit more. We'll start the show off, not today, but in the future, the near future, with 3 rounds where we do a little bit of debate, some topics, have some fun with that. We're going to try to work some more guests into the program as well, topical ones for sure. And, we'll wrap things up, let you know what's coming up, and then, of course, head into the inbox. And we'll keep the text rolling throughout the program. So we want to keep that going as well. But now we're Xing out frenzy, or the fantasy part of it. We're just the frenzy with Halley and Douglas. Speaking of Brandon Douglas, he's here as well. The Duke, good morning. How you doing?
Con man, good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How do you feel? Is it like, almost a little unfamiliar when you return after 2 full weeks away? Was it? I had this argument with someone inside the building last week. At that point, after 2 weeks off, is it that much more difficult to pick yourself up yesterday and say, I got to go to work tomorrow? Or is at that point you're kind of chomping at the bit, jonesing to get back on the grind here in studio? You picked the perfect time too. Slowest week this morning.
Yeah, I know. And it was funny because when I spoke to the families, the both of the families, my wife's and mine, I was like, let's go after July 1st. And then I, in theory, would have been off this week as well because I would have, stuck around for free agency and then left immediately following. It didn't work out that way. So yeah, coming back this week is a whole lot of fun. Although the Elks are going to give us a lot to talk about. The whole 2-week thing for me is new. I never did this down the dial, but then since coming to Sports 1440, a little more flexibility. Obviously, we got a lot of great guys here who can fill in if need be. The 2-week thing is great. Yesterday, I was chomping at the bit. I was eager because I was listening to you guys. Obviously, had a lot of fun listening to TG hop on here and do his thing and how he's working with you and Eddie. And
what about during the much critically acclaimed Douglas in the Mornings 4-show stretch?
I did tune into that as well. I think some people thought that was going to be permanent.
Not as anticipated as the Tom Gazzola Show's debut. I don't think
the first. It was more of a Fairmont thing. When I was in Radium, it was like, okay, let's get up and go. In Fairmont, I was waking up and it was like a hot room. No, it was a hot room. It's just like, well, it's 6:55. Might as well throw on YouTube and check out the new program. But no, I heard you as well. It was excellent stuff here, and the guys did a great job. And you guys knocked it out of the park when it came to free agency as well on the Wednesday show and then following. And I kind of thought about doing like a 10-minute monologue, Duke, of my thoughts of the last 2 weeks of like England and Harry Kane
coming
and
home.
Jude, man. Oh my goodness,
you've missed so much, Connor.
Then I break down every pick for the Oilers and everything, draft, and then I get into obviously the CFL and the Elks lose, but then they bounce back and win, and they ran away with it last Thursday. But yeah, it was a good vacation.
So I'll save you the 10-minute monologue because I think you would want to give it less than even people would want to hear. They want to know your thoughts though. So rather than just a 10-minute kind of soliloquy, let me just hit you with a couple bangers.
3 rounds almost.
Almost. A little pre-tease. That's how it's going to go. So let's start with the World Cup because you are such a big soccer guy. So we're down to the Final Four, England, Argentina, France, and Spain. That tomorrow and Wednesday in flip order. France, Spain tomorrow, England, Argentina Wednesday, excuse me. What has been your biggest takeaway from the World Cup now down to the Final Four clubs? Like surprise, disappointment, combination of both?
I would say surprise. Like to have a tournament with what Harry Kane has done, and then Jude Bellingham to a certain extent for England, for Argentina, Messi, and people can talk about the officiating and all that sort of thing, but the storylines you have there, outstanding. Spain and France, like that. This is people or two nations that people thought could be meeting in the final. They're going to meet in the semifinal. You got Kylian Mbappe, who is living up to all the expectations. Going back prior, Erling Haaland, he was dynamic. I mean, he had nothing left to give against England, obviously, and we'll see what the fallout is there. But I mean, that's a guy who made probably millions of dollars and millions of fans along the way because he's just a happy-go-lucky guy. How many people? And obviously, he's a very distinct-looking individual. Like he looks like a Viking. Like I think that's going to get people probably watching Man City games going forward. I think as a whole, Duke, I've just been very impressed by how well it's popped off. The storylines we had earlier on with these nations coming into random American cities and taking over and showing up at baseball games, showing up at small town training facilities and all those sort of things. Like for me, you can put the corruption, the landscape, all that stuff aside and just say, man, we've been treated to some very good storylines here. And one of the good things is you didn't have to build all these stadiums
Yeah.
and then dismantle them after. And like you go back and you looked at the lives lost during Qatar and how many people died in that whole process and like the labor they did. You don't want that sort of thing. In North America, we have all these world-class facilities, got to utilize them. To me, I think it's been a great one. And I think you have 4 really good nations here.
It's like the 4 blue bloods.
Yeah, 100%. Like if one of the, you wouldn't have been going out on a line to say, I think that one of these guys will win. For the teams more locally, Canada, what a run. Like that was outstanding. And yeah, they fell apart obviously against Morocco. Morocco's a good team. And it kind of got done the first half. I thought they had their opportunities. If they could have buried one, who knows what happens. But yeah, all in all, Duke, I've loved it. I'm missing it. I like that stretch we had when we could just throw on a soccer game at 9:00 on a Tuesday. That was great drama. Now we'll just kind of hold off till Tuesday, Wednesday, I guess.
Next topic, the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL offseason. There's been some drama. My Ducks in the thick of it with the Leo Carlson offer sheet. They end up matching it. Now there's some decisions to be made elsewhere. But for the Oilers specifically, active on July 1st. They retain a couple players. They bring in some fresh faces, and they move on from Darnell Nurse. This feat that we once thought impossible to do, the unloading of this contract. So my question to you about the Oilers is a simple one. The offseason so far, to date, give it a letter grade by the work done by Stan Bowman and company.
B+ at the least, I would say. I think they've done a really good job in finding a way to move on from Darnell Nurse. I mean, hey, great Oiler. Big fan of him, his time here, but obviously there had to be that move. I would give him at least a B+. I liked what they did. And obviously a couple guys were going to be back no matter what. We knew that, Colton Dock wasn't going anywhere. That was going to be a guy who's coming back. Kasperi Kapanen. I thought he would go check out free agency and see what was out there, but with the success that he's had in Edmonton, that one kind of made sense. We know about the guys that they kept already. Intrigued to see, maybe a prove it guy, Matthew Joseph, something like that. But on the back end, I liked it. And you go out there and you had a goaltender who just about a month ago, holy cow, we were pumping his tires and Freddie Anderson and what he was doing with the Carolina Hurricanes. Granted, the defense in front of him was very strong. The Oilers could take a page out of that notebook and try to duplicate that in a little way and probably see also Tristan Jarry's game and numbers improve quite a bit. But I thought for me personally, Duke, Oilers keeping those guys who they brought in from Chicago, Dickinson and Murphy, was the big ones. Both of those guys agreeing to do so, even with the controversy at the coaching hire. I think that's a good sign. Ryan Shea comes over. I think that's a one who might kind of fly under the radar, but for the casual hockey fan. And then Mac Madulin as well. Getting him re-signed, what was it, $1.75 million per year? I like that one. A guy who's obviously was taken early on. We'll see how it all plays out, but Duke, for me, it was B- at the very least. What did you go with?
I don't know if I'd hand it an official. I think a B or a B+ is very fair. Maybe like, what more did you want to be achieved? I guess would be like my pushback on if people are holding it and say couldn't be any more than a B or maybe even a B+. Like every area was addressed in some capacity. You bring in another defenseman and a guy that is focused on the defensive side of the game. You shore up the goaltending in a couple different fronts. Now, it creates more questions on the goaltending front. Like, are you running a 3-goalie system all year? Are you going to risk losing Devin Levi on waivers if he can't run away with the backup job out of camp? And then what do you then do with Tristan Jarry in that situation? Freddie Anderson, you're going to need 3 goalies, more likely than not. over the course of an 82 or 84 game schedule, I should say. So that's all great. But then just the ability to move on from Darnell Nurse, you get positive assets back. You don't retain any money. I think that's the crowning jewel of it. I kind of, for me, raised eyebrows about what Mike Greer was accomplishing down in San Jose with his retooled blue line, the big contract to Trouba. You bring in Nurse. So like, we'll see. Maybe Nurse can really benefit from the fresh start in the Bay. I think I'd probably even shade into the A letter grade area for what the Oilers have done so far. And I'll finish the hockey part of this discussion, Connor, with this question that has continued to bounce around even still on July the 13th. We're 12 days removed from the market opening. The Oilers still have cap space available. Do you think they should continue to be checking in on the likes of Anthony Mantha or Vladimir Tarasenko, maybe even Patrick Kane? Or do you think they've got lots of bodies and a lot of them will be competing with each other for just a few spots, both up front and on the back end? Are you content with the roster as is to start the season?
If I may steal a Jim Harbaughism, competitors welcome. If you want to bring in a guy like that, Duke, who, like, I think you have to have a conversation like, hey, we're not paying you your full ticket. This might be Jack Roslovic type situation where, hey, if you're around long enough and we want to add another player, another shooter at some size, whatever it might be, I'm not worried about it personally. Like, I would be okay to give it a go. I guess it depends on how the roster construction is going to shake out. Like, do you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on your top line with McDavid and Hyman? Or, daily faceoff has Isaac Howard there. How do you foresee that one working out? Like, he's not your third line center anymore. You have Jason Dickinson. So he's a winger at this point, but where's he going to fit in? I would not be opposed to it. And I know that we've heard the stories. If you are to keep this cap space by the deadline, it would be 26 mil? 24?
Yeah, it's an astronomical number.
It's huge. So what if instead of that, like, you spent a little bit and then at the deadline you had, 18 mil perhaps, and maybe you move someone out and find a way to create a little bit more space. I would not, just for the opportunity to bring someone in at the deadline, not sign someone now. But it's got to be a good fit, and I think you have to get a team-friendly deal as well with that player, knowing the opportunity for them. And maybe they're trying to get that next big contract in. I mean, geez, if you get a chance to play at the Oilers top 6 at some point, I think that's a good way to do it. Now, quickly, what side were you on for the offer sheet with Leo Carlsson?
Like, what they should do?
What side were you on? Because I don't think we didn't get a chance to talk about it.
Well, they had to match it.
They had to?
They had to.
You didn't want the picks?
No.
The Ducks are so good at drafting.
No, the picks are... And we got into it a little bit. Declan and I did with some listeners last week, which, listen, in your absence, has been a bit of a rotating cast of characters in here because Declan can't do some days because of Elks Nation. Donovan's in hosting. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun and created some fun conversations. But yeah, Declan and I were going at it with a few listeners about the picks versus the players. So, like, even if you take the picks, and you're saying they're good at drafting, but if they did that, the only logical course of action is to trade the picks to then replace your number one centerman. But number one centermen aren't very often available on the trade market. Dylan Larkin is right now. Anaheim is not on the list of places he is currently willing to waive his no trade clause to go to. And at this point, comes in at very inexpensive compared to Leo Carlsson, but he's no spring chicken anymore. Is he a true number one center on a team that wants to win a Stanley Cup? Now, I don't know if the Ducks are there yet, especially when you look at the blue line that they currently have employed. It's pretty thin back there. But I thought that it was a no-brainer to match the offer sheet.
Yeah, it's a big number, but cap's going up. And this guy, I tell you, Duke, when he was crossing the blue line with the puck against the Oilers in that series,
you're kind of holding your breath.
I was
every
like,
time
watch out. This guy, he's big, he's strong, 30 goals last year. Essentially, he was 29, but whatever. We're calling it 30. He was just under a point a game in the postseason. This guy's a player, and I would be definitely wanting to keep him. Ideally, less than 18 mil, but hey, when a team forces your hands, you do that, and now we'll see what happens. The Ducks still have some cap space to work with, but interesting offseason for Anaheim. Some other news and notes today. There was an extension signed, I believe, in the NHL.
The Sabres avoiding arbitration with Peyton Krebs. 4-year deal.
4 years, yeah. Do you know the number on that one?
4.5 AAV.
We like those pieces in Buffalo. Got to keep them all together. The more I hear about this Zachary Benson kid, the more I like. He's got some different thoughts.
Got some pizzazz.
He thinks Winnipeg is nicer than Vancouver, which Vancouver fans must absolutely hate. But yeah, 4 year, yeah, $18 million. Good for him. We also, for the World Cup talk, the 64 team World Cup will be looked at. Of course it will. You'll make so much more money if you're FIFA. And that's what it's all about. Gianni Infantino saying that earlier. So I don't know how great the games would be. I think with the 48 expanded roster or expanded tournament, we saw some really good stories. Cabo Verde will be one for sure. Like you look back and say, man, these guys hung around. Give them an opportunity. Good things will happen. Italy will probably get in if you expand it to 64 teams.
Finally.
Finally. But it would be corporate greed, but it might lead to some good footy. Perplexed Oilers fan texting says, I've got time for Mantha. Oilers are kind of small-ish. I know Mantha doesn't necessarily play a massive game, but he has the size that can handle heavy hockey, and he's fast for a big guy, just not more than 1 to 2 years max. And I kind of think that's what you would be doing. And, on the flip side, a guy like Mantha might look at that and say, that's what I want. I want to be here when McDavid's here, and hopefully goes my way. I get some more offensive production. Then all of a sudden, I get another contract. So, yeah, I think that would kind of be mutually beneficial, hypothetically, for those two teams. Not the goalie. Rolly says, after the Carlson offer sheet, I bet Mike Greer has buyer's remorse spending $18 million on Nurse and Trouba. Well, I will say, Duke, and I don't know what the response was when that trade popped up on the schedule for the show, but for him not to have any money retained, and I think there were some contracts handed out and maybe kind of made it worth it in his eyes, but for Stan Bowman, you're patting yourself on the back. That was mission accomplished, and to get a guy who we think probably has some upside as well, we'll see how it pays off. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to more of your text. We'll also talk a little bit more about the World Cup. We'll talk some Elks, Justin Rankin. Holy cow, this guy is playing absolutely unbelievable football. All that and more. It is The Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Beer League Slow Pitch. It's an Alberta summer tradition.
I got shortstop. I'll take pitcher. Yeah, I'm just here for the dugout snacks.
When you're playing on the field, you need serious fuel. And there's only one MVP. Wilhock Beef Jerky. Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky and hit a home run with the team. It's the perfect snack for your summer sports.
Wilhock Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Kickoff is coming July 17th. Elks, Lions at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Dog Days of Summer presented by ATCO Energy. Bring your pup and watch the game in an exclusive section. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
It's the hard jobs that take know-how, expertise, and the right experience. And that's why, time and time again, GS Construction gets the call when it comes to the hard jobs. Underground projects that are genuinely difficult, like deep installs, tough ground conditions, or tight urban sites. So remember, when it's a hard job, the list gets short, and GS Construction is on it. Want to tackle the hard jobs? We're looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton is home to sports. It's Sports 1440.
Legendary is here with BetMGM Sportsbook. Sign up now to unlock access to hundreds of pre-match and live betting options for all your favorite sports. Download the BetMGM app. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Canada. Wednesday, July 15th is Tim's Camp Day. When you buy a hot or iced coffee, you help build a better future for Canadian youth. Every cup counts. At participating restaurants in Canada.
Because 60 minutes is just about enough. The Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440. Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
It's 11:24. Welcome back to the Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc. In case you're like, hey, that sounded quicker. What happened there, Connor? Yeah, we dropped fantasy. We're rebranding. We're just the Frenzy now with Halley and Douglas. In case you're just tuning in now, we'll still talk fantasy. And I think we'll still do our leagues. Although I guess we have no pressure to do so anymore. No more fantasy football league, dude. No more fantasy hockey pool. We'll probably keep it going because it is fun and it does helps us raise some money for charities in our city. But we're going to change things up a little bit on the program. And we will talk fantasy. Like I said, when we get to September or maybe middle of August and you want your fantasy football advice or thoughts, we'll talk about it. But we're going to change things up probably starting in a couple of days here. We'll get 3 rounds with Josh Fenwick where he'll propose some topics for us and we'll share our thoughts. We want to make sure we get some guests on the program. And to be realistic with you, and Duke and I have not discussed this, but I think we'll probably have a lot of fantasy football guests. And it might just be football guests for the summer leading into the season. Well, we'll mix in some fantasy questions, help you guys out. You okay with that, Duke?
I'm more than okay with that. It sounds great.
And then I don't know what else we'll do. Well, we'll have some fun and we'll keep the leagues going because Duke told me he's on the right trajectory for the fantasy pools when it comes to hockey. Started off a little slow last year.
Yeah.
But then
I
in the postseason,
had a good playoff
Yeah.
thanks to my affiliation to my fandom of the Ducks. I was in on them, which was good. I was leading it for so long, but once they were dispatched, it was pretty much all over for me.
Yeah.
And actually, I've just joined a charter member of a new fantasy hockey league. A lot of the guys that I play beer league hockey with and now slow pitch and stuff, it's like one of these super nerdy ones where it's so in depth, like it's dynasty. You keep a roster of prospect players still on your team each year too. I don't know if the commissioner Noel actually typed this out or if he just got AI to generate it for him. There's literally a charter, like pages of all the rules and the explanations and everything. I've yet to parse through it. I'll need to like carve out an entire Friday evening, I think, to do so and get fully familiar, and probably wait until it's closer to the draft so I don't forget
Yeah.
all the intricacies and small little details. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Maybe do it like your binge TV shows where you like won't read it once and then right before the
And
season,
then right before
read
you do it again. Exactly. Yeah, very much so. I just finished that with House of the Dragon before the new season had started. I guess it's already a month ago now.
It's brilliant.
It's great smart strategy. Very much so.
Text lines 1-833-401-1440. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. D Scarlett says only fantasy baseball, which we're all doing mediocre in. Yeah, that's it. we drop the fantasy part and move on. No, we won't do that because fantasy sports are fun, and especially the way we do it when we tie in the charitable aspect. I think that's something we're going to keep rolling here on the Frenzy. And if you want to check out the new logo, Josh Fenwick done a fantastic job with the background here on YouTube. Looks clean, and I think you did that in about 3 minutes. So very well done.
He's very quick.
Very, very efficient. This segment for Elks Nation, you can check out their new website, elksnation.ca, with articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth W football coverage online, elksnation.ca. The Edmonton Elks announcing that they've made a little bit of a roster move, adding American defensive lineman Carmine Bastone to the practice roster. 6'2", 300, 5 years at Northwestern University. Also was a little bit of a mini camp invites from the Chiefs and the Jets, but signing with the green and gold, reps matter. And we know defensive linemen can make that turnaround to the NFL very quick. Going from the CFL, 5 years at Northwestern. What does that tell you, Duke? What's your first thought when you hear that?
Smart.
That's exactly what I thought. That's a prestigious school. I'm looking forward to seeing him get there on the field. The Edmonton Elks, been pretty nice. Obviously, they had the loss in Kelowna. They'll get a chance for some rematch, a little bit of a vengeance potentially on Friday when they host the BC Lions in a football stadium for pro players. But thought they had a really good game against the Ottawa Redblacks. And, it was a little bit more competitive early on in that game. As it progressed, obviously, the Elks scoring 24 points in the fourth quarter, really blowing it out. But I thought there's some good things from this team. And Cody Fajardo has given you what you want from him. Obviously, he's not going to be dropping 90 or 60-yard bombs, but he can pick you apart. And he did that against the Ottawa Redblacks, 19-14 for 340 yards. Justin Rankin, we know how good he is. We know what he's going to continue to do. 107 yards on the ground on just 14 carries for the math people out there. That's 7.6 yards per carry, which was the second highest number. Javon Lee got 10 carries, had 85 yards. Should have been more. Unfortunately, it did not count. He had a big touchdown run. That's something I'd like to see a little bit more, Duke. Justin Rankin can be kind of the bell cow. We know that. And I think he only had total 17 targets, carries. That's an okay number. But I would love to see Javon Lee get used in the run game a little bit more. I think he's a guy who can make some big plays. Screen game as well. I think he's very dangerous. So that to me, Duke, is something I'd like to see this team go forward here with more Javon Lee. And that's not a slight on Rankin. Run the ball more if you have to, but having that kind of double-headed monster, I think that's a huge weapon for this team.
It was kind of cool getting to actually see it utilized for one of the first times, at least to that capacity in that game on Thursday. And I get it. It's the Redblacks, and the fourth quarter really showed us that they are not in the same tier of talent as, say, the Elks have displayed in the early going of the season now 5 games in. So I was a little... I don't know if disappointed is the right, but I was kind of scratching my head a little bit when the game was, through 3 quarters, the close nature of it, thinking like, this is not how this was supposed to play out. And I think there's still, as a result of letting it remain that close for as long as it was, some still cause for concern. Like the red zone efficiency continues to plague this team a little bit at times. But the way you dial it up in the fourth quarter and kind of turn the taps on and pour it on to them with the picks, and then you convert them, that's all great. And it leaves you, I think, feeling a lot better on the way out than you were through the first 45 minutes of the game. Like, you didn't score touchdowns. I didn't check the total time on the clock elapsed, but like first drive of the game to then the first drive of the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially 3 full quarters without scoring a touchdown, even if you do have the 3 field goals. So there's a lot to like about the Elks right now, and I'm absolutely on board with that, led by Justin Rankin and the offense. But I think there are still a few areas that can be cleaned up and improved upon if you want to really be taken seriously, starting with this rematch against BC who is looking more like the team we thought them to be than they were in the first couple weeks.
Yeah, we know how good Nathan Rourke is and can be. You're right. And I think there's maybe kind of the part where you look at it and say, well, if we continue to play our game, like we'll wear teams down. We can do this. And I think that kind of worked for the running game. You saw that with some big runs. When I was watching the game, that third quarter touchdown that the Red Blacks scored, that was the first third quarter touchdown the Elks have given up. And they've only given up 11 points on top of that. I believe it was a field goal and a single. To me, that's really good. Like at halftime, this defense makes adjustments. They've been able to find ways to slow teams down in the third quarter, even against BC. That was a 0-0 third quarter. So those are good things to see for me, and I've really enjoyed this football team so far. And Friday night, beautiful weather out there. It's going to be a good game, I'm thinking, between the BC Lions and the Edmonton Elks Friday night down at Commonwealth, Play Alberta Field. It's going to be cool. We'll get out there, I'm sure. Are you going to go to that one, Duke?
I'm hoping to. Yeah, I expect to.
Maybe we'll carpool.
Carpooled with Donovan last Thursday.
Yeah.
Was supposed to be with Declan too, but then he thought he was too good for us. So he went solo.
Who got the parking pass?
We both did.
Oh, okay, good.
Through some creative exploration.
Finagling?
Yes.
Yeah. How was the crowd there?
Disappointing.
Thursdays are tough. Even in the summer.
I'm kind of out of reasoning. Like I'm at the end of my rope about trying to justify why the attendance isn't continuing to improve at a faster rate, I guess. Like, Connor, you and I talked about this extensively over the past number of years. Like, I was under the impression, and maybe it was naive of me, thinking like winning in sports cures so many ailments, about how you're viewed from the outside looking in, how you do financially, right? And there are always exceptions to rules, but I thought as this team improves, which we saw signs of it last year under the new regime, the overall talent on the roster is better. Like things are trending in the right direction. And I was like, as long as they start this year good, these home games should be starting to turn back out in the 20,000 people area, like on a near game to game basis, with the exceptions of the poor weather we saw in the home opener. Maybe, and they don't have any of these on the schedule this year, but that Sunday afternoon game that is very controversial amongst the CFL pundits. But this Thursday night, so you're not headed away for the weekend yet. You couldn't ask for a better night weather-wise in the city. The team comes in 3-1. Justin Rankin is continuing on a week-to-week basis, like be on the brink of setting potential history once the season wraps up. And I think there's 10,000 people there. I know the announced attendance was closer to 14 or 15. That's all fine and dandy. I was there. I saw the people, saw how full or not full the stands were. And I think there was about 10,000 people there. That's not nothing, but I was expecting more.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I go to games. People ask me how many people are there. I don't know. That stadium, and then there's people watching from the outside the concourse. I never really know, but we hope those numbers go up. This Friday, it's a good game. BC Lions team comes into town. Weather should be good. If you want to win tickets, actually, you can just text ELKS to 1-833-401-1440. We'll pick a winner. Well, our promotions team will reach out to one of the lucky winner, but just text in ELKS to 1-833-401-1440 to win a pair of tickets. We do that a week before every home game. But I'm with you. And hey, we know the issues. I mean, I don't have to tell people the name change. It played a role. It didn't impact how I looked at the team. That's just personally for me, it's a name. Wasn't the biggest thing. But to discount for a lot of people it did matter a lot would be foolish. It did. So that's setting people back. Those people have made their decision. They're probably not going to go to games. But winning football, weather, Friday nights, Saturdays, after the week 8 game in Saskatchewan, you got a 5:00 game hosting the Riders. So back-to-back games in just about 10 days. That should be great. Riders will be in town 5:00 on a Saturday. That's fantastic. Your next home game is a Saturday at 1 mid-August against the Boatmen. I love a 1:00 game. I tell you guys, when I was younger and I had my season tickets, these would have been lining up great. 5:00 start, you go out after. 1:00 start, you go for lunch, you go for dinner, you go out after. Then at 7:30 on a Friday night against Winnipeg, you go out after. All these things are on great nights, and then you'll eventually have the Labor Day rematch, Saturday, September 12th against the Stampeders, 5:00 start. You can go out after. Or if maybe you're like my age now, you go home. You get home by 8:30 and you're laughing. So hopefully they keep on winning and the things will keep on happening. JC Glazer's saying apparently they had about 5,500 walk-up sales, which is fairly decent. Hopefully better crowd for a Friday. I would agree. That's really good for walk-up. And I know in years past they've had some issues that go against them, like the walk-up crowd on a rainy night. It's just not going to.
It's not going to happen, right? So
we've been there, right? You and I. It doesn't happen. People don't go when it's cold out, but when the weather's nice and the team's winning, I think more people will want to get out there. Kyle says if the attendance is lacking on Friday, that'll show something. It's supposed to be nice weather Friday night. We'll see what happens. Absolutely, Kyle.
Eddie Steele issued a challenge to Double E football fans. Said if you're a real fan, be there. If you're not, you're a poser.
Is he going by himself? I heard him saying he went to a game by himself recently.
Yeah, we almost ran him over crossing the street, pulling into the parking lot on Thursday. Because I think over the weekend his wife was out of town, so he would kind of be solo dad duty. So he kind of got the Thursday night by himself to go to the game and just focus on football rather than. I mean, you know this. You've got the small child. When you've got them in tow, everything else is kind of backseat to an extent.
Yeah,
they usually take the majority of your attention, keeping them fed and watered and happy and entertained. So
those, watered. Your truck would have been destroyed if you hit Eddie.
Oh, come on.
It would have been like the movie Hancock.
It's a pickup truck.
Your truck just collapses around him.
I just roll him up on the hood, right into the windshield, right in Donovan's lap.
Kyle says, I'm going this week. Haven't been yet. Yeah, good. Go enjoy the tailgate. Grab a bite to eat out there. Get inside. Grab a drink, some food. The mini donuts are always a good one.
I had some on Thursday. They hit every time.
They're just so good.
It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It's dough, cinnamon, and sugar. It's a recipe for success.
It really is. We'll take a break. When we come back, more text 1-833-401-1440. It is The Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Welcome to the Bro Zone, the ultimate garage setup for checking out the big game.
70-inch TV? Check. Surround sound? Check. Mini fridge fully stocked? Check.
But a legendary Bro Zone needs legendary snacks.
Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky. It's the perfect game day companion when you're watching from the ultimate fan cave.
Wilhock Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
CanTorque has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantorque.com.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV with a question. Are you camp ready? Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. You might think from talking to you on the radio or my online videos that I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but you'll notice the real work is being done by my maintenance team, the same team that looks after your RV when you become Camp Ready.
Camp Ready is a custom scheduled maintenance plan for your used RV.
That's right, Bob. For one predictable monthly fee, your fall winterization is handled, spring startup is on your schedule, roof assessments twice a year, and if something goes wrong during the summer season, guess who goes to the front of the line? That's right, people like you who are camp ready.
You're expanding Camp Ready memberships now, right, Rick?
Bingo, Bob. We're accepting 100 new members. We have to keep it limited due to the capacity of our team, so we know we can serve you dependably. Ask about Camp Ready next time you see us.
And that's no bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Quick opinions and fun times. The Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440. Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
.43, welcome back to the Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online, wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go pay him a visit. Only available in Leduc or online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Just want a quick, hope everyone's basements are doing okay. I heard there was a lot of rain the last 2 weeks here. I kind of missed it. We have a little bit of like I don't even know. It's not a pond. It's a slough in the backyard. And I tell you, Duke, like we're slanted upwards, thankfully. But that thing got about 5 to 10 feet closer to our backyard.
I believe it.
The precipitation in the city the last couple of weeks here was insane.
When did you get back?
Saturday around 3:30.
Oh.
So we got a little. Was it yesterday the rain?
Yeah, yesterday here on the West End,
Yeah.
I was on my drive back from the Riverhawk, so it would have been like 6:30-ish. Like from the time I got out of downtown and was kind of back headed west again on 107th. From about there to when I got all the way over to the Henday, like it was raining so heavy, like you could barely see. And there's still people driving around without their lights on, which is just, the tale oldest time.
Yeah, of course.
And like even in that short, like it was coming down so heavily that the pavement went from being bone dry to then like huge collections, like the puddles, like people slowing down, worried about where's the bottom at in this because all I see is water. And it made for a more tedious commute home for me. Which at that point, given how tired I was, how hot I had been all afternoon sitting out in the sun at Remax Field, I was a little frustrated.
Yeah, I saw, Mackenzie showed me some of the footage from their dugout with the water just bowling over. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I saw, we were driving out to the in-laws, kind of leaving the city, and I don't know if a builder had used like cheap siding or if the hail was that crazy. It looked like it was bullet riddled.
Really,
just
hey?
like pounded out there. So hopefully everyone's doing okay. Not too much damage. Hopefully not too much flooding. I'm sure some people are just getting crushed by it right now. But hopefully a little less rain going forward. Here, biased Oiler fan says, growing up, I remember every EE fan, every adult was a EE fan, and it completely changed with the name change. They completely lost interest and clearly have no interest in watching anymore. Even if they went back to the name, those people wouldn't come back around. The children, those folk raised, grew up to have no interest in football at all. And as a whole, that is incredibly hard to come back from, no matter how well they do or exciting they are to watch. Yeah, I mean, I don't like honestly, when I used to go to games and I got season tickets in about 2003, graduated high school in 2005, and like the next 5 years or so for us, you went to watch the football, of course, but it was also kind of like a social outing. Like you went out, maybe grab a drink, a bite to eat before the game. And tailgating wasn't really a thing for us. We just showed up and went to the games. You kind of hung out with friends, like sat upper section. We were upper section Y, had friends that would just stop by there all the time. They knew about our season tickets. We always had a few extra spaces. And if so, we just slide over. It wasn't a big deal. And then, on top of that, we got to watch some really good football. Like I got Ricky Ray, Jason Moss, like Mike Pringle. John Avery was there for a year. We had Hervey and Terry Vaughn, Mookie Mitchell joined from the Argos, Jason Tucker. This really good football teams. AJ Gass on the defensive side, Shannon Garrett, Donnie Brady, Terry Ray, Senior Mobley, all like just Alfred Payton joined the team. Like they had a really good team. So for me, like I look back fondly and I just think for people out there, like you're looking for something to do on a Friday night with your friends, why not go have a drink or two? Maybe you don't drink. You just want to go have some good food, sit in the sun. Like I just think there's really good times to be had. And I get that it's not the same as it was. That's 20 years ago. Holy cow. I'm aging myself. But it was always a really good time. And I hope that they can find that. I know the owners group there is really trying to do things. The watch party, we always have a really good group of fans coming out to it. If you get out there and it's a nice night and they win, you're not going to regret going. It's going to be a good time. And Duke, I wouldn't know for sure, but they used to have buses from, it would have been the east side of the stadium that would take you to certain parties after, certain bars.
Right.
That was great. I don't know if they still do that because when we go, we're in the media side of things right now, and obviously head home afterwards or go down to the dressing room. We're not going out to party like we used to, but it was always a good time. So I'm just hoping they can get back to that because that's why I bought tickets. We went to the game in 2003, pretty sure. Maybe Dave Jameson will have to fact check me on this one, but it was like 58,000, the Labor Day rematch. Crazy game. Eskimos at the time won the game, and that I was hooked. I was in. So I'm hoping they can find that once again. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. Bill says, I think they did a little bit more damage with the season ticket holders when they closed the upper deck. We had season tickets, and they told us it would be the same price, but the same price was in the end zone, and nobody wanted to go. Yeah, well, that's not going to help, right? I loved upper section Y. You could see the game, had the sun in your eyes a little bit, but it was worth it. It was worth it. But his nation says people are missing out. What a beautiful night and wicked game, plus free burgers, nuggets, free K-Days passes. What more do you need? People showed up for Trey Ford because he was exciting. Man, Rankin is more exciting. People should show up for him. I mean, geez. In the offseason when TSN had him ranked 15th, like we were outraged. And maybe it was biased.
We thought we're like, are we a little too close to this? Like, is this outlandish or is this outlandish? And I was talking about this with Gazzola yesterday, Connor. Like, even from a sportsbook perspective, the Elks opened the season as underdogs in Ottawa, which now it's 5 games later looks ridiculous to have even considered. And for that game, if you were doing some like player props, and it was actually, this was week 2. So another week after we saw the opener, which was that sloppy affair in the mud. Week 2, Justin Rankin to score 2 or more touchdowns was plus 600. Great price. I was all over. I'm like, this is awesome. That same bet this past weekend, or Thursday night, I should say, yes, against Ottawa again, but Justin Rankin to score 2 or more touchdowns was plus 170. Him to score a single touchdown, minus 300.
Okay. That sounds right.
Like it's essentially like a given.
Yeah.
It's expected. It's like Connor McDavid to get a single, like 1 point in an NHL game. Like you're not usually getting a very good price on it. Because it's just like, this is an inevitability, it feels like.
I mean, that's how good he is right now. AJ says BP's in 2009. $20 got you a bus, ticket, and a beer. And a ticket, obviously.
Yeah, that got you a ticket to the game, too?
It was different times back then, man. I mean, what was minimum wage back then?
Good point.
I'm trying to think my first job. I think I was making $5.20 an hour. And it was great.
Wow.
I think that was the
by
total.
the time I entered the workforce, that was after the big minimum wage. Because it went from what, like 8 something to 14, right?
I'm not sure.
At the time, I want to say, and that was when I was in high school.
That's pretty good.
And I was working at, like $14 an hour when you're 17 years old. If you're working like 8-hour days during the summer, that still adds up pretty quick.
Oh, big time.
Especially when you don't have to pay for anything in your life as a kid. So just the gas, keep the party wagon rolling on weekends, and your beer, that's pretty much it.
If you're 17, 18, 16, enjoy these times. Derek says, fellas, I took my family to the EE game last Thursday and the Riverhawks game yesterday. As a young family, the Riverhawks offered way more for the buck. In my opinion, the Hawks involve you more in the show. It's closer to the game, and the food and drinks are way cheaper. Yeah, I mean, you certainly have a more cozy environment. Like, you're going to be closer.
But that's baseball.
Yeah. The Elks
compared to football.
also don't set concession prices, I believe.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
a
the
city.
cities, so it's kind of out of their hands.
Which I will like, and this isn't a knock at the Riverhawks, just because it's just like they said, the way of the times, like they got to cover their back end too. But in my opinion, it's not that inexpensive to eat and drink. Like if you're talking about with the kids and stuff, I guess I wouldn't know because I'm not really in the food lines or anything, and I'm not buying soda. I'm just usually buying a couple beers. But like beers are still the price of beer, and I haven't bought a beer at Commonwealth Stadium. I guess I would have last summer at the concert. I'm trying to remember even what it would have been, but you're talking like $9 or $10 for a tall boy can.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like it's the going rate.
Yeah.
Still way less than what you're paying at Rogers.
Those will be the same, right? Beer's beer.
Beer's beer.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, it's
gone are the days of dime beer night at the Coliseum turns ugly.
Exactly. I will say, like, the one thing for me as a parent, like if I can park close, that's a huge benefit.
For sure.
And for the Elks, that is a bit of a challenge in the area. I mean, hey, we've all seen it. It's not always the maybe safest feeling, and that is a problem. But if you can get past it, there's a pretty good pot of gold under the rainbow. And that's the Edmonton Elks football team right now. Rich says a while ago they did a blitz for 99 season tickets. They sold a lot. Perhaps they should do that in the upper deck and start getting people back in the seats. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the goal for them is to open up the second level once again.
But they're not going to do that until the lower bowl is very close to, if not full, on a week-to-week basis.
100%.
Which, based on Thursday, we're far away from.
Brock said, just curious, if the Oilers change their name to the Oysters, Ostrich, would all these people complain and stop going to games? It's still the same team, just a different name. Give it up. Go support them. And I think the problem is that, there was so much debate with, is this really needed? Do they have to do it? And a lot of people are kind of sick of teams changing their names, and this was a stand they could take. I'm like you, Brock, and I've said it before, like if a team changes the name, heck, my Chargers moved cities. I still wanted to watch the players out there. I wanted to watch Keenan Allen and Joey Bosa, despite the move from San Diego to Los Angeles. But for some people, it's enough.
I mean, it's like it was literally a Jerry Seinfeld bit. Like, you're not rooting for the team, you're rooting for the clothes.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this guy's now wearing different clothes. I don't like him anymore. That guy that I used to hate's now wearing my clothes. I like him. And in the case of the Elks, the clothes didn't really change. Just the name did. Now, yes, they changed the helmets and some of the shoulder patches. I get all that. But right now, they look as vintage Double E as ever. And they look great. They're some of the best uniforms out there.
Yeah. The look is clean. Just roll that Double E. It's always going to be a good look. 11:55. I guess that means we're done.
Just flew by, Cons. First day back in the saddle.
The frenzy, man.
The frenzied.
It happened.
It was frenzical.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with kind of some new strategy, some new bits here on the frenzy, which we'll be rolling out in the next week or so. Up next, Lloyd on Flow Tide. He'll be joined by Jason Greger, Declan Kruger as well. Then on the Greger Show, we got Kevin Woodley trying to get some members of some local sports teams, and then Spec. And we'll talk some CFL football as well. So make sure you keep it locked here on Sports 1440 throughout the rest of the day. And then tonight, Jays and Giants, 7:45 here on Sports 1440.
That's last week, Cons. It hasn't been up. It's the All-Star break.
All-Star break. Home run derby tonight.
Home run derby.
We won't have that one for you. Sorry. I'm rusty. It was due to happen. I haven't watched sports in 2 weeks. Right now, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with the Duke, brought to you by Cattail Crossing, 9 and Dine every Friday after 4, $130 for a pair, 9 O's in a cart, $40 gift card, out of bounds restaurant. Book now at cattailcrossing.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Buffalo Sabres taking care of RFA forward Peyton Krebs this morning with a 4-year, $18 million extension. That'll pay him a $4.5 million on an AAV basis. 25-year-old filed for arbitration earlier this month. This negates the need for the hearing. 12 goals, 39 points in 82 games last year with the Sabres. MLB All-Star break underway, which means slow day on the sporting calendar, but it is the Home Run Derby tonight from Philadelphia. You can catch it on Netflix beginning at 6 o'clock Mountain. 8 players in the field in a new format this year, basing on swing allotments rather than timed outings. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440.